good evening, and a warm welcome to you. Tonight, we will journey together down a quiet stream of ancient wisdom. The heart of Zen holds timeless insights that can soften our gaze upon the world, and we will uncover them through gentle tales and quiet ponderings. As we settle in, if you feel moved to do so, please share which country you are in and what time your clock shows. From what part of the world are you sharing this breath with us? The offerings tonight are gentle nudges toward both awareness and deep rest. Think of these stories as a map, but not the destination itself. The map is not the landscape it describes. We will explore simple truths the hurried mind often misses, but which the still heart understands intuitively. Let us find rest in old parables that show more than they tell. We will learn to view our thoughts as leaves floating on a stream, and to welcome difficult feelings as guests at our door, bringing important news. Consider this a quiet garden for your inner world, a place to tend to your mind and let your spirit breathe. Here, there is no need to strive or become anything else. You can simply exist, breathe, and let these words be a gentle current, guiding you home to yourself. The key you seek is already in your hand. We are just here to remember how to use it. If this space resonates with you, you are always welcome back. Subscribe to make it easier to find this sanctuary again. For now, simply arrive in this moment. Now, find a comfortable position. Allow your body to feel heavy and supported. Let the day's events, the conversations, the worries, all melt away like snow in spring. You do not need to hold on to them any longer. This time is for you. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Take a slow breath in through your nose, and with a long, soft exhale, let go. You are here. You are safe. The first arrow of existence. Acknowledging unavoidable pain. In a small village nestled between green hills lived a young woman named Alara. Her hands were skilled at pottery, but her greatest joy was a simple teacup. It was a gift from her grandmother, a delicate piece of porcelain painted with a single, elegant crane in flight. Each morning, she would hold it, feel its smooth surface, and drink her morning tea. It was a ritual of quiet connection, a small anchor in her day. It was not just a cup, it was a vessel of memory, of love, of stillness. One morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, a gust of wind rattled the wooden frame. The sudden noise startled her, and the teacup slipped from her grasp. Time seemed to slow as it fell, a graceful arc through the air before it met the stone floor. The sound was not loud, but it was sharp, final. The cup shattered into a dozen pieces, the painted crane now broken, its flight forever interrupted. A pang of sadness shot through Ilara's heart, sharp and clear. This initial shock, this sharp pang of loss, is what the Buddha called the first arrow. It is the inherent, unavoidable pain of existence. Life includes loss, sickness, old age, and things not going our way. A cherished object breaks, a plan fails, a friend moves away, a physical pain appears in the body. These are the first arrows. They are not a mistake or a sign that we have done something wrong. They are simply a part of the natural landscape of being human. We cannot avoid the first arrow. To live is to be vulnerable to its sting. Trying to build a life where no first arrows can ever reach us is like trying to build a house in the middle of a field and expecting it never to rain. The rain will come, the arrows will fly, the cups will sometimes break. The pain of that initial impact is clean, direct, and a natural response to the conditions of the world we live in. It is the simple, unadulterated reality of the moment. So what can we do? We can start by allowing ourselves to feel it just as it is. Can you, right now, notice a small sensation in your body, perhaps a coolness in your feet, a gentle ache in your shoulder, or the simple feeling of your clothes against your skin? Do not name it as good or bad. Do not try to change it. Simply let it be there. Acknowledge its presence with a gentle, curious awareness. This is the first arrow. Just this. The Master Buddha taught that when we are struck by an arrow, it is painful. But if we are then struck by a second arrow in the very same spot, the pain is not just doubled. It becomes a much greater suffering. This first arrow is the unavoidable pain of life itself. The second arrow, however, is the one we shoot at ourselves. It is our reaction to the first, our resistance, our story about the pain. We will explore this second arrow soon. For now, we rest with the first. We rest with the reality of Alara's broken cup and the clean sadness she felt. We rest with the simple, direct experience of life as it is, with its bumps and its breaks. There is a strange peace in accepting this reality. When we stop fighting the rain, we can begin to notice the beauty of the way it washes the world clean. We can feel the directness of the experience without adding a layer of struggle. The practice here is one of gentle honesty. It is the practice of acknowledging what is true in this moment. If there is sadness, there is sadness. If there is a physical ache, there is a physical ache. We do not need to add a story on top of it. We do not need to judge ourselves for feeling it. We can simply whisper to ourselves, this is here now. This is a first arrow. And we can breathe with it, creating a space of kindness around it. Notice the breath moving in and out of your body. It asks for no effort. It is a constant, a rhythm of life that is always here. Like the breath, the first arrows of life will also come and go. They are not personal. They are not a punishment. They are part of the flow. By learning to be with them without adding to them, we discover a deep resilience we never knew we had. We find a quiet space, a calm center, even when the cup is broken. As we continue our journey, let us carry this understanding with us. The world will present us with its pains, its inevitable arrows of loss and change. Our invitation is not to build thicker armor, but to cultivate a softer heart, a heart that is brave enough to feel the first arrow without reaching for the second. From this place of gentle acceptance, we can begin to explore what it means to be truly free, the river of wanting, the root of suffering. There once was a man named Kale who inherited a beautiful plot of land. He decided he would build the most perfect garden in the world, a place where everything was exactly as he wished. He planted rows of immaculate flowers, ensuring no colors clashed. He paved a stone path that curved in a precise, pleasing arc. He wanted his garden to be a static masterpiece, a perfect painting that would never change. a testament to his control and vision. Every morning, Kale would patrol his garden. He would pull out any tiny weed that dared to sprout. He would become frustrated when a flower wilted, seeing it as a personal failure. A sudden rainstorm that nourished the soil would only make him anxious, as it left water spots on his perfectly polished stones. He was in a constant battle with nature itself, trying to force it to obey his vision of perfection. The garden, meant to be a source of peace, had become his battlefield. This constant striving, this thirst for things to be different than they are, is the second arrow. The first arrow was the simple fact of the weed growing or the flower wilting. The second arrow is the story Kale tells himself about it. This should not be happening. It is wrong. It must be fixed. This resistance, this wanting, this thirst for a different reality, is what the ancient teachings call tanha. It is the true source of our suffering. Tanha is the engine of our discontent. It is the subtle, persistent feeling that something is missing, that if only this one thing were different, then we would be happy. If only I had that job, if only this person would change, if only this feeling would go away. It is a river of wanting that runs through our minds, carrying us away from the present moment and into a future that never quite arrives. We are so focused on where the river is going that we forget to feel the water around us. Let's try a small practice. For a moment, just notice any subtle feeling of wanting in your mind. It could be wanting this meditation to be over, or wanting it to never end. It could be wanting to shift your body, or wanting the temperature to be different. Do not judge it. Do not act on it. Simply observe it. See if you can watch the feeling of wanting arise, crest, and pass away, just like a wave in the ocean or a cloud in the sky. The great master, Ajahn Tch, once said that our suffering is not caused by the events of our lives, but by our wanting them to be different. He compared it to having a pet buffalo. If you think the buffalo belongs to you, you will suffer when it runs away. But if you understand that the buffalo simply is, that it has its own nature, you can appreciate its presence without suffering from its absence. Our thoughts, feelings, and life circumstances are like that buffalo. They are not truly ours to control. Kale's garden was never going to be the perfect, unchanging sanctuary he craved. The nature of life is change, flow, and imperfection. By resisting this fundamental truth, he was shooting himself with the second arrow, again and again, every single day. The suffering was not in the weed, it was in his hatred of the weed. The suffering was not in the wilted flower, it was in his demand for perpetual bloom. The practice, then, becomes one of softening our grip. It is about noticing the river of wanting without needing to jump into it. We can sit on the bank and watch it flow by. We can see the desire arise and say to ourselves, "Ah, there is wanting. How interesting." We can feel the aversion arise and say, "Ah, there is pushing away." And in that moment of mindful recognition, we create a space of freedom. The second arrow loses its power when we see it for what it is. Breathe in and feel the simple reality of this moment. Breathe out and let go of the wish for it to be anything other than what it is. You do not need to fight with your own mind. You do not need to win a war against reality. The garden is already beautiful. with its blooming flowers and its determined weeds, its sunlight and its rain. Your life is already whole, with its joys and its sorrows. As we move forward, let's notice the different ways this wanting appears. It is a subtle and creative force, taking many forms and disguises. It can be a loud demand or a quiet whisper. It can be a craving for something pleasant or a desperate wish to avoid something unpleasant. Let us look closer at the different faces of this thirst, beginning with the endless hunger for more, the ghost with a tiny throat, the nature of craving. In a bustling port city lived a merchant named Kenji. He was immensely wealthy, his ships bringing back silks, spices, and rare artifacts from every corner of the known world. His mansion was a museum of beautiful things. He owned jade statues, intricate carpets, and pottery so fine you could almost see through it. Yet Kenji was not a happy man. The thrill of acquiring a new object was intense, but it faded almost immediately, leaving behind a familiar, gnawing emptiness. This endless cycle of wanting, getting, and feeling empty is a powerful form of tanha in ancient Buddhist cosmology. There is a realm of beings called hungry ghosts. These beings are depicted with huge, empty stomachs, but with mouths as small as the eye of a needle and throats that are painfully thin. They are perpetually starving, surrounded by food and water that they can never consume enough of to feel satisfied. This is a powerful metaphor for the state of craving. Kenji was living as a hungry ghost. He believed that the next object, the next acquisition, would finally be the one to fill the emptiness inside him. He would chase a rare vase for months, and upon finally possessing it, he would feel a fleeting moment of triumph. But within hours, his eyes would already be scanning the horizon for the next ship, the next treasure, the next hit of satisfaction. The pleasure was real, but it was like drinking salt water to quench a thirst. It only made the thirst stronger. This is the craving for pleasant experiences, for sense pleasures, for material things. It is one of the most common ways we shoot the second arrow at ourselves. We experience something pleasant, a delicious meal, a beautiful song, a moment of praise. The first arrow is the pleasantness itself. The second arrow is the thought that immediately follows. I need more of this. I must have this again. I cannot bear for this feeling to end. The pleasure itself is not the problem. The clinging to it is. Let's try a gentle breathing practice. As you breathe in, imagine you are breathing in a sense of deep contentment. You can silently say to yourself, breathing in, I feel content. There is nothing missing in this moment. As you breathe out, imagine you are releasing the feeling of grasping, of needing anything more. You can say, breathing out, I release the need for more. Just rest in this simple rhythm of contentment and release. The master Thich Nhat Hanh taught that true happiness is not found in consumption, but in the peace of not craving. He said that we often live as if we are starving, constantly seeking something outside of ourselves to consume, whether it is food, entertainment, or approval. But the deepest nourishment comes from within, from touching the peace and stillness that is already available in the present moment. It is the joy of not needing anything to be different. Kenji's suffering was not a lack of beautiful things. His suffering was the belief that beautiful things could save him from his own inner emptiness. He was looking for happiness in a place it could never be found. The more he acquired, the more he reinforced the feeling of lack. The hungry ghost can never be satisfied by feeding it. Its hunger is a spiritual hunger, a thirst for presence, not for possessions. The practice here is one of noticing and enjoying pleasant experiences without clinging to them. When you eat a delicious piece of fruit, can you savor it completely and then let the experience go when it is over? When you hear beautiful music, can you be fully present with it and then allow the silence that follows? This is not about renouncing pleasure. It is about freeing pleasure from the burden of having to last forever. It is allowing experiences to be like butterflies that land on your hand, enjoy their beauty, and then let them fly away. We can learn to find joy in the simple act of being, a joy that does not depend on external conditions, the joy of a deep breath, the joy of a quiet moment, the joy of feeling the warmth of a blanket. These simple pleasures are always available, and they do not create the painful cycle of craving and disappointment. They nourish us without making us hungrier. They are the cool, clean water that truly quenches our thirst. So as we continue to rest, we let go of the chase. We call off the search for the next great thing that will finally make us happy. We allow ourselves to find richness in the simplicity of this moment. Kenji, in his mansion full of treasures, was a pauper. We, here now, with nothing but our breath, can be kings and queens. The craving to have is one side of the coin of suffering. Now, let us turn it over and look at its opposite. The desperate desire to push things away, the war against weeds, the suffering of aversion. In a quiet monastery lived a gardener named Ren. He was known for his meticulous dedication. However, his focus was not on the vibrant roses or the fragrant jasmine. Ren was obsessed with weeds. From dawn until dusk, he would hunt for them, his face a mask of grim determination. The smallest sprout of clover or dandelion would fill him with a hot surge of anger. His life became a relentless war against these unwanted plants. His fellow monks would watch him, their hearts filled with a gentle sorrow. They saw how Ren, in his quest for a pristine, weed-free garden, missed everything else. He did not notice the way the morning light made the dew on the rose petals sparkle. He did not hear the cheerful song of the crickets in the afternoon. His world had shrunk to this one point of contention, the weed that should not be there. His exhaustion and bitterness grew with each passing day. This is the second face of Tanha. It is called devasya, or aversion. It is the craving for the unpleasant to disappear. If the hungry ghost is the endless pulling toward, aversion is the endless pushing away. It is the second arrow we fire when we experience something we do not like. The first arrow is the unpleasant feeling itself, the annoyance, the frustration, the physical pain. The second arrow is our desperate struggle to get rid of it, our declaration of war against our own experience. Ren's war was not truly with the weeds. The weeds were just being weeds, following their own nature. Ren's war was with his own mind, with his own inability to tolerate what he deemed imperfect. His suffering was not caused by the presence of weeds, but by his fierce resistance to them. Aversion is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes immense effort, and the moment you relax your guard, it shoots back up with even more force. Let's try a small practice. Bring to mind a small, recent annoyance. Perhaps someone spoke to you in a tone you did not like, or you were stuck in traffic. Do not dive into the story of it. Just call up the raw feeling of that annoyance in your body. Where do you feel it? As a tightness in your chest, a heat in your face. Now, see if you can breathe with it. Breathe in and acknowledge the feeling. Breathe out and soften around it. You are not trying to make it go away. You are just allowing it to be there without struggle. The teacher Pema Chadran speaks of this as learning to stay. She teaches that our habit is to immediately run away from anything uncomfortable. We distract ourselves, we numb ourselves, we blame someone else. The practice of mindfulness is the practice of learning to stay with the raw, direct experience of our discomfort. It is a radical act of kindness toward ourselves. We stop the war and simply offer our presence to the wounded part of ourselves. The irony of Ren's struggle was that his war on weeds was actually making the garden less healthy. In his frenzy, he would often trample delicate seedlings. His constant digging disturbed the soil's delicate ecosystem. In the same way, our war against our own unpleasant feelings often creates more suffering. Our anger about our anxiety only makes us more anxious. Our frustration about our sadness only makes us feel more hopeless. The practice is to meet the unpleasant with a gentle and spacious awareness. When a difficult feeling arises, we can learn to say, here is anger, or here is sadness. We greet it like an old, familiar visitor. We do not have to serve it tea and invite it to stay forever, but we also do not have to slam the door in its face. We can simply allow it to be in the room, knowing that, like all visitors, it will eventually leave on its own. Breathe in and acknowledge the presence of whatever is here. Breathe out and create a little more space around it. The sky does not fight with the storm clouds. It simply allows them to pass through its vastness. Your awareness can be like that sky. It is big enough to hold all the weather of your mind, the sunshine of joy, the rain of sorrow, the lightning of anger. It all belongs. It is all part of the whole. This constant pushing and pulling, this craving for the pleasant and aversion to the unpleasant is exhausting. It is the root cause of the feeling of struggle in our lives, and it is all fueled by a very deep, very subtle misunderstanding about who we are. As long as we believe we are the small, fragile self that must be protected, we will continue to fight. Now, let us look more closely at this fundamental misunderstanding. Chasing a shadow, the illusion of a separate self. There is an old story about a young boy who, on a sunny day, became terrified of his own shadow. He saw this dark, strange shape following him everywhere he went, and he was convinced it was something dangerous. He decided he had to get away from it. He started to run, but the faster he ran, the faster the shadow followed. He ran until his lungs burned and his legs ached, collapsing in exhausted tears. The shadow, of course, was right there with him. An old woman sitting under a large banyan tree saw the boy's distress and called him over. "What troubles you, little one?" she asked. The boy, crying, pointed at the dark shape on the ground. "This thing, it will not leave me alone." The old woman smiled gently. "Come," she said. "Sit here with me in the shade of this tree." The boy hesitantly walked over and sat down under the cool, broad leaves of the tree. And as he entered the shade, his shadow disappeared. This boy is all of us. The shadow we are running from is our own self, our own ego. We believe there is a fixed, solid, separate me at the center of our experience that needs to be protected, defended, and gratified. This fundamental misunderstanding is called avidya, or ignorance. It is not ignorance in the sense of being unintelligent. It is the ignorance of our true nature, like the boy not understanding the nature of his own shadow. This feeling of being a separate self is the root cause of our craving and aversion. It is this me that wants pleasant things and does not want unpleasant things. It is this me that feels offended, that feels proud, that feels afraid. The entire project of suffering is built upon this fragile foundation of a separate self. We spend our lives running from our shadow, trying to find a place where it cannot touch us, only to become more and more exhausted. Let's try a simple inquiry. As you rest here, gently ask yourself the question, who is it that is suffering? Or who is it that is hearing these words? Do not look for a conceptual answer. Do not think, it is me, John, or it is me, Jane. Instead, look for the actual experience of this me. Can you find it? Is it in your head? In your chest? Or do you just find thoughts, feelings, and sensations all arising and passing away on their own? The philosopher Alan Utz said that the ego, the self, is a social convention, not a biological or psychological reality. He compared it to the equator, a useful line of imagination, but not something you can actually find and hold. We have been taught since birth to identify with this imaginary center. This is my body, these are my thoughts, this is my life. But the practice of Zen is to look directly and see that this is just a story we have learned. The boy's problem was not the shadow. The shadow was a natural consequence of his body blocking the sunlight. The boy's problem was his belief that the shadow was a separate, threatening thing. The solution was not to run faster, but to change his relationship to the light. By resting in the shade, the condition that created the shadow was removed. By resting in the shade of awareness, the conditions that create the ego begin to dissolve. This is not about destroying the ego or getting rid of the self. It is about seeing through the illusion of its solidity. The self is a useful tool for navigating the world, just like the equator is a useful tool for navigating the globe. We need it to function, but we suffer when we mistake the tool for the reality. We suffer when we believe we are this small, limited, and fragile identity. When we see through the illusion of the separate self, our whole relationship to suffering changes. Whose suffering is it? If there is no solid me to be offended, who is offended? If there is no solid me to feel lack, who is craving? The pain may still arise, the first arrow may still strike, but it no longer lands on a me. It lands in a wide open space of awareness. It becomes impersonal, like the weather. This profound realization is the beginning of true freedom. It is the boy finally resting in the cool shade of the tree, no longer at war with his own shadow. He has not destroyed the shadow. he has simply understood its nature. This fundamental misunderstanding of who we are is what leads us to grasp and to cling so tightly to our experiences. Now, let us explore this act of clinging more deeply. The tightly clenched fist, the nature of attachment. Imagine a small child named Mio, walking along a riverbank. She finds a smooth, grey stone that fits perfectly in her palm. She closes her small fist around it, delighted with her treasure. She loves the feeling of it, solid, real, and hers. A little later, her mother comes to her with a beautiful, fragrant gardenia, its white petals soft as silk. She offers it to Mio, but the child cannot take it. Her hand is already clenched tightly around the stone. To receive the flower, she would have to let go of the stone, and she is unwilling to. This clenching is the nature of attachment, or upadana. It goes one step beyond simple craving. Craving is the wanting. Attachment is the having to have, the not being able to let go. It is the mental fist that we clench around our ideas, our beliefs, our possessions, our relationships, and even our own identity. We believe that holding on to these things is what keeps us safe, what makes us who we are. But like Mio, our tight grip prevents us from receiving the boundless gifts the world has to offer. We are attached to our opinions, believing they define our intelligence. We are attached to our roles as a parent, a worker, a success, believing they are our entire identity. We are attached to our memories, replaying past glories or past wounds, believing they are who we are now. We are attached to our plans, clinging to a specific vision of the future, causing us immense pain when reality unfolds differently. This constant clenching is exhausting. The stone in Mio's hand is not the problem. The stone is just a stone. The problem is her attachment to it, her belief that her happiness depends on possessing it. In the same way, our possessions, our relationships, and our identities are not the problem. They are a natural part of life. The suffering comes from our clinging, from our refusal to accept their impermanent nature. We want to hold the river in our fist, and we are surprised when the water slips through our fingers. Let's try a letting go visualization. Imagine that your mind is a hand. For a moment, clench it into a tight fist. Feel the tension, the strain, the rigidity. This is the mind of attachment. Now, very slowly, begin to open your hand. Finger by finger, release the tension. Imagine that as your hand opens, your mind is also opening. Let go of one thing you are holding on to right now. A worry, a plan, an idea of how things should be. Just let it rest on your open palm without grasping. Then let it be carried away by the wind. The Zen master Suzuki Roshi taught that the best way to control something is to let it be, to give it a lot of room. He said, if you try to control a cow by putting it in a small pen, it will become agitated and try to break free. But if you put it in a large field, it will be peaceful and stay where it is. Our minds are like that cow. When we try to tightly control our thoughts and feelings, they rebel. When we give them space, they settle down. Mio believes she is choosing the stone over the flower. But what she is really choosing is the familiar comfort of her closed fist over the vulnerable openness required to receive something new. Attachment feels safe, but it is the safety of a prison cell. Letting go feels risky, but it is the risk of stepping into an open field. It is the choice between holding on to a single stone and being able to touch the entire world. The practice of non-attachment is not about becoming cold or indifferent. It is the opposite. It is about learning to love the world so much that we do not need to possess it. We can love the flower without needing to pick it. We can love a person without needing them to be a certain way. We can love our own lives without needing them to be free of pain. It is a warm, open-handed engagement with reality as it is. So, for this moment, just let your hand be open. Let your mind be open. Let your heart be open. You do not need to hold on so tightly. The universe is holding you. The earth is supporting you. The air is nourishing you. You can afford to relax your grip. You can afford to let go of the stone. The flower is right here, waiting. To truly let go, however, we must see things as they really are. We must see their empty, transient, and interconnected nature. As long as we believe things are solid and separate, we will continue to grasp them. We must look deeply into the nature of the boat that bumps into us, only to find that it is empty. Now, let us explore this profound emptiness together. The empty boat, the wisdom of emptiness. A man named Jiro loved to meditate in his small boat on the lake. One quiet afternoon, he was sitting in deep peace, his eyes closed, feeling the gentle rock of the water. Suddenly, a loud thud shook his boat. Another boat had bumped into his. A surge of anger shot through him. He opened his eyes, ready to shout at the careless person who had disturbed his peace. But as he looked, he saw that the other boat was empty. It had simply drifted loose and floated across the lake. In that moment, Jiro's anger vanished. It had nowhere to go. Who was there to be angry at? An empty boat. He realized his anger had not come from the boat, but from within himself. It was a story he had created in an instant. Someone has been careless. Someone has disrespected me. But when he saw the empty boat, the story fell apart, and all that was left was the simple reality of two boats touching. He sat back down and began to laugh. This is the wisdom of emptiness, or shunyata. Emptiness does not mean nothingness or a void. It means that things are empty of a separate, independent, permanent self. The boat was not an aggressor. It was a collection of wood and rope, moved by the wind and the current. It had no intention. In the same way, the people and events in our lives that cause us pain are also empty in this way. They are a complex interplay of causes and conditions. When someone says a harsh word to us, we immediately create a story. They are trying to hurt me. We react to the story, not to the reality. The reality is just sound waves hitting our ear. The person who spoke may be having a difficult day, or they may be repeating something they heard, or they may not have realized the impact of their words. Like the empty boat, their action is the result of countless conditions. It is not a solid thing directed at a solid me. Let's practice by listening. Just for a moment, open your awareness to all the sounds around you. The hum of a machine, a distant voice, the sound of your own breath. Do not label the sounds as good or bad. Do not try to figure out where they are coming from. Simply let them arise in your awareness and pass away, like ripples on the lake. Notice how they come and go on their own. They are empty of any inherent meaning until you give it to them. A central teaching in Zen is a line from the Heart Sutra, which can be paraphrased as, "Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form." This means that the world of form, of things we can see and touch, is not separate from this empty, interconnected nature. The boat is form. Its lack of a separate, independent self is its emptiness. The two are inseparable. To see the boat is to see its emptiness. To see a person is to see their emptiness. When Jiro saw the empty boat, he was not seeing nothing. He was seeing reality more clearly. He was seeing the event without the story, without the blame, without the second arrow. And in that clear seeing, there was freedom, there was peace. The anger simply could not survive without a story to feed it. This is the liberation that the wisdom of emptiness offers us. This does not mean we become passive or allow harm to happen. We can still move our boat out of the way. We can still say, "Your words were hurtful." But we do it from a place of clarity, not from a place of reactive anger. We are responding to the situation, not to our story about the situation. This makes all the difference. We can act with wisdom and compassion, rather than with blind reactivity. Look again at your own thoughts and feelings. Are they not also like empty boats, drifting through the lake of your mind? A thought of worry appears. We can get angry at it, try to push it away, or we can see it for what it is. Just a thought, an empty boat. It has no power on its own. It is just a pattern of energy. When we see this, it loses its grip on us. We can let it drift by. Realizing this profound truth, this emptiness, is not a cold, intellectual exercise. It is a deep shift in perspective that brings incredible peace and warmth. It allows us to meet the world with less fear and more love. It is the discovery that the lake and the boats and the wind are all part of one seamless, flowing reality. This realization that suffering can cease opens up a whole new possibility. It shows us that a shore of peace is, and has always been, within reach. The still forest pool, the end of suffering. A young, eager student approached his master, a stern-faced monk named Linji. The student had been at the monastery for years, meditating diligently, but still felt agitated and lost. "Master," he said, bowing low, "I have followed all the teachings, but my mind is still a storm. Where can I find nirvana? Where is this peace that the Buddha promised?" He was desperate for an answer, a location, a final destination for his spiritual search. Master Linji did not speak. He simply beckoned the student to follow him. They walked in silence out of the temple, through the manicured gardens, and into the dense forest beyond. The air grew cooler and smelled of damp earth and pine. They arrived at a small clearing where there was a hidden pool of water. The pool was perfectly still, its surface like a dark mirror, flawlessly reflecting the blue sky, the white clouds, and the overarching trees. "Look," the master said, his voice quiet but firm. He then picked up a stick and plunged it into the pool, stirring the bottom vigorously. The water instantly turned murky and brown as mud and sediment swelled up from the depths. The perfect reflection was gone, replaced by a chaotic, opaque mess. Your mind is like this water, Linji said. Your constant striving, your desperate searching, your wanting peace. This is the stick that stirs the mud. The student watched, mesmerized. This is the cessation of suffering, known as narration. It is not a place you go to. It is not something you achieve or acquire. It is the natural state of the mind when the stirring stops. The peace, the clarity, the nirvana you seek is the inherent nature of the water when it is allowed to be still. The mud of craving, aversion, and ignorance simply settles on its own if you stop disturbing it. Let's practice this for a moment. Bring your attention to the stillness that is already present in your body. Beneath the thoughts, beneath the sensations, there is a field of quiet presence. You don't have to create it, you just have to notice it. Can you feel the quiet space between your thoughts? Can you feel the silent pause at the end of an exhale? That is the still forest pool. Rest your attention there. The Buddha famously said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." We spend so much of our lives looking for peace in external circumstances. We think we will be peaceful when we get the right job, or the right partner, or when our problems are solved. But this is like trying to calm the reflection in the water instead of letting the water itself become still. The peace we long for is the absence of the inner struggle. The student and the master stood by the pool for a long time without speaking. Slowly, miraculously, the mud began to settle. The larger particles drifted down first, then the smaller ones. The water began to clear. First, a faint impression of the trees appeared, then the blue of the sky. After an hour, the pool was once again perfectly still, a flawless mirror reflecting the world in all its beauty. The water had cleansed itself. This is the promise of the path. It is not that you have to get rid of the mud. The mud is part of the pool. It is the accumulated conditioning of our lives. The practice is simply to stop stirring, to stop chasing, stop resisting, stop identifying with the turmoil. When we sit in meditation, when we rest in awareness, we are simply allowing the mud of our minds to settle. We are letting the water return to its natural state of clarity. You can feel this in your own experience. When you are caught in a storm of anger or anxiety, any effort to fix it often makes it worse. But if you can find a way to just be present with the storm, to watch it without feeding it, it eventually loses its energy. The clouds part, and the sun, which was always there, shines through. This is nirvana. This is the peace that passes all understanding. So now, let us walk the path that leads to this inner peace. It is not a path to a faraway place, but a path that leads us right back to where we are, to the still pool that has been waiting within us all along. Let us learn how to put down the stick so the mud can finally settle. The raft is not the shore, the path as a tool. There is a well-known parable told by the Buddha about a group of travelers who came to the bank of a great, wide river. There was no bridge and no ferry. The other side, the far shore, looked safe and peaceful, while the shore they were on was dangerous and filled with turmoil. So, using branches, vines, and their own effort, they built a simple raft. Working together, they climbed aboard and paddled safely to the other side. Upon reaching the far shore, the travelers felt immense gratitude for the raft. It had saved them. The leader of the group then turned to the others and asked, "This raft has been so very useful to us. What should we do with it now? Should we hoist it onto our shoulders and carry it with us as we continue our journey, just in case we need it again?" The others immediately agreed, thinking it was a wise and prudent thing to do. But the Buddha asked his monks what would be the wiser course of action. He explained that the truly wise traveler would think, "This raft has served its purpose. It has brought me safely to the far shore. Now I will leave it here at the riverbank and continue my journey onward, unburdened." This, the Buddha explained, is how we should treat the teachings. The path, the Magga, is a raft. It is a tool to be used, not an object of worship or attachment. The teachings of Zen, the practices of meditation, the stories, and the concepts are all part of the raft. They are incredibly useful for crossing the river of suffering, for moving from the shore of confusion to the shore of clarity. But if we cling to them, if we turn them into a rigid identity or a heavy dogma that we carry on our backs, then the raft itself becomes a burden. It prevents us from walking freely on the new shore. Let's take a moment for gratitude. Not for a future enlightenment, but for this present moment of arrival. You are on the shore. The simple act of breathing, of being here, is its own destination. Feel the ground beneath you. You are already home. Let go of the idea that you need to get somewhere else. The practice is not about becoming a good Buddhist or a perfect meditator. The practice is about using the tools to find freedom right here. The master Thich Nhat Hanh often reminded his students that his teachings were like a finger pointing to the moon. He would say, "Do not get stuck on the finger, or you will miss all the heavenly glory." The words, the rituals, the techniques, they are all fingers pointing. They are not the moon itself. The moon is the direct experience of liberation, of peace, of reality as it is. The raft is meant to be left behind. The finger is meant to be forgotten once the moon is seen. We can become attached to our practice. We might feel proud of how long we can meditate, or we might become rigid about following a certain rule or technique. This is carrying the raft on our backs. The purpose of the practice is to become more free, more flexible, more open, not to add new, spiritual-sounding rules to our mental prison. The path is a path of letting go, and that includes, eventually, letting go of the path itself. So we use the tools with skill and respect. We build our raft with care. We use the breath to anchor our attention. We use mindfulness to see our thoughts more clearly. We use compassion to soften our hearts. But we hold it all lightly. We remember that these are tools to help us unlearn our habits of suffering, not new habits to become addicted to. If this journey we are sharing offers you a sense of peace, if this space feels like a safe harbor for you, consider subscribing to find it again whenever you need it. Think of it not as joining a group, but as leaving a small, white stone on the path so you can find your way back to this quiet riverbank whenever your heart desires. This is your space to use as you need. The journey to the far shore is not a linear one. In many ways, we cross the river and leave the raft behind. In every moment we choose presence over distraction, compassion over judgment, and letting go over clinging. The far shore is not a distant land. It is a different way of being, right where you are. Now, Let us begin to explore the planks and vines that make up this life-saving raft, the practical steps of the path itself, the view from the mountain, seeing reality clearly. Two friends, Ananda and Kenji, decided to climb a tall mountain that overlooked their valley. Kenji was strong and goal-oriented. His eyes were fixed on the summit, and he saw the path only as an obstacle. He complained about the steepness of the trail, the sharp rocks that hurt his feet, and the sweat that dripped into his eyes. His entire journey was a struggle, a battle against the mountain to reach the top. He was completely focused on the destination. Ananda, whose name means bliss, walked differently. He felt each step, noticing the way his foot connected with the earth. He paused to admire a small purple wildflower growing between two rocks. He listened to the sound of the wind whispering through the pines. He felt the warmth of the sun on his back. His journey was not a struggle to get somewhere else. His journey was a series of present moments, each one full and complete. When they finally reached the summit, Kenji was exhausted and irritable. He glanced at the view for a moment and said, "Is that it? We came all this way for this." He was already thinking about the difficult journey back down. Ananda, however, stood at the peak with a quiet smile. He saw how the river, the fields, and the village were all connected in one vast, beautiful tapestry. Because he had been present for the journey, he could truly appreciate the view. He saw the whole picture. This is right view, the first step of the path. It is not about having the right opinions or beliefs. It is about seeing reality clearly, just as it is. It is seeing the interconnectedness of all things, like Ananda seeing the whole valley from the summit. It is understanding the truth of impermanence, that the path, the weather, and even the mountain itself are all in a constant state of change. Kenji's suffering came from his narrow view, his belief that the goal was separate from the path. Let's practice with the breath. Settle your attention on the feeling of your own breathing. Do not try to change it. Just observe its natural rhythm. Notice the sensation of the cool air entering your nostrils, the slight pause, and the warm air leaving. Feel how each breath is born, lives for a moment, and then dissolves. It is a perfect, miniature lesson in impermanence. Each breath is a new beginning and a complete ending. The teacher, D.J.K. Cornfield, reflects that a wise perspective changes everything. When our view is clouded by ignorance, we see the world as a collection of separate, threatening things. We are like Kenji, battling our way through life. But when we cultivate right view, we begin to see the world as a seamless whole. The struggle dissolves, replaced by a sense of wonder and participation. We see that we are not separate from the mountain. We are a part of its unfolding story. Right view is the understanding of cause and effect. It is seeing that actions rooted in greed, hatred, and ignorance lead to suffering, while actions rooted in generosity, kindness, and wisdom lead to peace. It is not a moral judgment, but a practical observation, like knowing that planting an apple seed will not grow an orange tree. This clear seeing is the foundation upon which the entire path is built. When Kenji only saw the rocks and the sweat, he was lost in the small details of his own discomfort. Ananda saw the flowers and the sky, and so he was part of a much larger, more beautiful reality. Our view determines our world. If our view is small and self-centered, our world will be a place of friction and frustration. If our view is wide and compassionate, our world becomes a place of connection and grace. Breathe in and imagine your awareness expanding. Let it be as wide as the view from the mountaintop. Breathe out and let go of any narrow, self-limiting views you might be holding. See if you can hold your own life, your own challenges, with this vast, mountaintop perspective. See how everything is connected, how everything is changing, how everything is workable. From this clear and spacious view, our intentions naturally begin to shift. When we see the world and ourselves with clarity, we no longer want to fight. We no longer want to grasp or push away. A natural kindness begins to emerge. This clear view of the landscape allows us to set a wise and compassionate course. Now, let us look at the compass that guides us on this journey. The captain's compass, the intention of kindness. There was once a wise ship's captain named Maeve. Before she set out on any voyage, long or short, she would perform a quiet ritual. She would go to her cabin, take out her old brass compass, and watch as the needle settled, quivering until it pointed steadily north. She would align her charts with that unwavering direction. Only then would she give the order to raise the sails. Her crew trusted her completely, because they knew her direction was always guided by a clear and constant purpose. One of her young sailors asked her why she did this. "Captain," he said, "you have sailed these waters 100 times. You know the way by heart." Maeve smiled. "The winds and the currents are always changing," she replied. "Storms can arise unexpectedly. My memory can fail me, but the compass always knows where north is. My intention is the compass. It keeps me true, no matter what weather we face. This is right intention, the second step of the path. It is the compass of the heart. After we have a clear view of the landscape, we must set our direction. The teachings say there are 3 fundamental directions for right intention: the intention of renunciation or letting go, the intention of loving kindness or harmlessness, and the intention of compassion. Together, they guide us away from the shores of suffering and toward the open ocean of peace. The intention of letting go is the rudder that steers us away from the grasping of the hungry ghost. It is the conscious choice to turn away from the cycle of craving and clinging. The intention of loving kindness is the choice to act with goodwill towards all beings, including ourselves. It is the intention not to cause harm, and the intention of compassion is the heart's response to seeing suffering. It is the deep wish for all beings to be free from their pain. Let's set an intention for this period of rest right now. You can silently repeat these phrases in your own heart, or simply feel their meaning. May I be peaceful. May I rest well. May I be free from struggle. Feel the gentle shift in your inner landscape as you align yourself with this kind and simple purpose. You are setting your inner compass. Our deepest intention is the most powerful force in our lives. It is the rudder that steers the ship of our life, often in ways we are not even conscious of. If our underlying intention is to prove ourselves, or to get what we want, or to avoid discomfort at all costs, our actions and speech will naturally reflect that. But if we consciously cultivate the intention of kindness and letting go, our lives will begin to move in that direction, slowly but surely. Maeve's compass did not stop the storms from coming, but it allowed her to navigate them with wisdom and grace. In the same way, right intention does not mean that we will never feel anger or desire again, but it means that when those feelings arise, our underlying commitment is to kindness and release. We have a true north to return to. We can notice the pull of the storm and gently correct our course again and again. This is not about becoming a perfect person. It is about setting the direction of our heart. It is a quiet, internal commitment. What is your deepest wish for yourself in this life? What is the direction you want your heart to travel? The practice of right intention is to ask ourselves these questions and to consciously align our lives with the answers that feel most true and wholesome. Each day, each moment, is an opportunity to check our compass. In a difficult conversation, we can ask, what is my intention here? Is it to be right, or is it to be kind? When we feel a strong craving, we can ask, what is my deeper intention? Is it to chase a fleeting pleasure, or is it to find a lasting peace? This simple act of checking in can change everything. As our intention becomes clearer and more steady, it naturally begins to express itself in the world. A kind heart wants to speak kind words. A compassionate intention leads to compassionate actions. The direction set by the compass finds its voice in our speech, the way we communicate with the world and with ourselves. Now, let us explore how our words can become like gentle rain. Words like gentle rain, the power of kind speech. The Zen poet and monk Ryokan lived a simple life in a small hut at the foot of a mountain. He had very few possessions. One evening, he returned home to find a thief had broken in. The thief was frustrated, for he had searched the entire hut and found nothing of value to steal. Ryokan saw the man and felt not anger, but a wave of compassion. "You have come all this way to visit me," he said gently, "and you should not leave empty-handed." Ryokan took off the simple robes he was wearing, his only good set. "Please," he said, "accept this as my gift." The thief, completely bewildered, took the robes and disappeared into the night. Ryokan sat naked, watching the moon shine through his open door. "Poor man," he whispered to himself. "I wish I could have given him this beautiful moon." This is the heart of right speech, the third step of the path. It is more than just not lying. It is speech that arises from a compassionate heart. It is speech that is true, kind, helpful, and spoken at the right time. Ryokan's words were not just true, they were transformative. They met a moment of potential violence and shame with an offering of unexpected grace. He did not scold or blame, he gave a gift. Right speech also includes the wisdom of right silence. Sometimes the kindest and most helpful thing we can do is not to speak at all. In a moment of anger, silence can prevent us from causing harm. In a moment of sorrow, a silent, compassionate presence can be far more healing than empty platitudes. Ryokan did not lecture the thief on morality. His simple words and actions spoke volumes more than any sermon could. Let's try a short loving kindness practice. Bring someone to mind. It could be a loved one, a friend, or even yourself. Holding their image gently in your heart, silently offer these wishes. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Feel the warmth of these words in your own heart as you offer them. This is the quality of heart from which right speech naturally flows. A verse in the Dhammapada, an ancient collection of the Buddha's sayings, teaches that a single gentle word that brings peace is better than 1,000 empty phrases. Our words can be stones that we throw, or they can be seeds that we plant. They can be a bitter wind, or they can be a gentle rain that nourishes the earth. We have the choice in every moment. The practice of right speech begins with mindfulness of our own words. Before we speak, we can learn to pause and ask, is what I am about to say true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? We will not always be perfect, but this simple pause can prevent countless second arrows. It is the moment we choose the seed over the stone. This practice also extends to our internal speech, the voice in our own head. How do you speak to yourself? Is your inner narrator critical and judgmental, or is it gentle and forgiving? Right speech means learning to speak to ourselves with the same kindness and compassion we would offer to a dear friend. This is often the most difficult and most important part of the practice. When Ryokan wished he could give the thief the moon, he was expressing the deepest form of right speech. He was seeing the inherent goodness and beauty of the world and wishing that another being could see it too. He was not attached to his robes, his possessions, or even his own comfort. His speech came from a place of profound generosity and freedom. As our words become kinder, our actions naturally begin to follow. A heart that speaks with gentleness does not want to act with harshness. The kind intentions that guide our speech also begin to guide our hands and our feet, leading us to walk through the world in a way that protects life and brings peace. Kind speech flows from kind actions, and kind actions are an extension of kind speech. Planting rice, the path of helpful action. Kenshin was a soldier, renowned for his skill with a sword. His life had been one of conflict and violence, and his heart was heavy with the ghosts of his past. Weary of the bloodshed, he laid down his sword and traveled to a remote monastery known for its peaceful way of life. He sought out the old abbot and asked, "How can I find peace? How can I atone for the harm I have caused?" The abbot did not give him a book or a complex meditation technique. He simply handed him a spade. The abbot led Kenshin to a muddy, empty field. "Your practice," he said, "is to turn this into a rice paddy. Plant the rice, tend it, and harvest it. This will be your path." Kenshin was confused, but he obeyed. For months, he worked under the hot sun, his body aching. He dug canals for irrigation. He planted the fragile green shoots one by one in the thick mud. Slowly, painstakingly, he transformed the barren field into a source of life and nourishment. This is the practice of right action, the fourth step of the path. It is the expression of our intentions and speech in the world of deeds. It is traditionally defined as abstaining from killing, abstaining from stealing, and abstaining from sexual misconduct. More broadly, it is the practice of acting in ways that protect and affirm life, that are generous and respectful, and that create well-being for ourselves and for all beings. Kenshin had spent his life engaged in wrong action. His skill was in destruction. By planting rice, he was learning the way of creation. His hands, once trained to take life, were now learning to nurture it. He found that the feeling of plunging a young rice shoot into the cool mud gave him a sense of purpose and connection that no victory in battle ever had. He was not just planting rice, he was planting the seeds of peace in his own heart. Let's practice with a body scan of our hands and feet. Bring your awareness to your hands. Feel them resting, perhaps in your lap or at your sides. Feel the life and energy in them. These hands can create and they can harm. For this moment, they are at peace. Now bring your awareness to your feet. Feel them resting on the floor or the bed. These feet can walk a path of anger or a path of kindness. For this moment, they are still resting on a path of peace. The Master, Thich Nhat Hanh, taught, "My actions are my only true belongings. I cannot escape the consequences of my actions. They are the ground on which I stand." This is the law of karma, not as a system of cosmic reward and punishment, but as a simple, practical truth. Our actions shape our character and our world. A life of harmful actions creates a world of fear and suffering. A life of helpful actions creates a world of trust and peace. The strength Kenshin found in the rice paddy was a different kind of strength than he had known as a soldier. It was not the strength to dominate, but the strength to nurture. It was not the strength of a clenched fist, but the strength of an open hand. He learned that true power lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the ability to cultivate. This is the heart of right action. The practice of right action is a moment-to-moment choice. It is the choice to speak a kind word instead of a harsh one. It is the choice to offer help instead of turning away. It is the choice to respect the belongings of others. It is the choice to tread lightly on the earth. Each of these small actions is a seed of peace that we plant in the garden of the world. Over time, Kenshin's face, once hard and sharp from years of war, began to soften. A quiet joy shone in his eyes as he watched the green shoots grow tall. He had not forgotten his past, but he was no longer defined by it. He was defined by his present actions, the actions of a farmer, a nurturer, a man of peace. His actions had become his salvation. Our daily actions, the small, repeated things we do, combine to form the fabric of our lives. They are the foundation of our work in the world. How we earn a living, how we spend our days, is a powerful expression of our deepest intentions and a crucial part of our path. Now, let us see how our daily work can become a part of our practice. The honest potter. Work as a path of peace. In a village by a clear-rich river lived a potter named Hannah. Her hands were old and stained with earth, and her small workshop was filled with pots, bowls, and vases in various stages of creation. Hannah worked from dawn until the light faded, but she never seemed tired. There was a quiet, joyful rhythm to her movements as she centered the clay on the wheel, her touch both firm and gentle. Her work was her meditation. Hannah's pots were known for their simple beauty and strength. When a pot came from the kiln perfectly formed and resonant, she would place it in her small shop to sell. But sometimes a pot would crack in the firing or come out slightly misshapen. Instead of smashing these imperfect pots in frustration, Hannah would place them in a basket outside her door with a small sign that said, "A gift for you." Children would use them to hold wildflowers, and neighbors would use them to collect rainwater. She believed every pot had a purpose. This is the spirit of right livelihood, the fifth step of the path. It is the practice of engaging in work that does not cause harm and, where possible, contributes to the well-being of the world. It is about how we spend our precious time and energy on this earth. Hannah's work was not just a way to make money. It was a way to create beauty, to be of service, and to express her deepest values. In our modern world, this can seem like a difficult principle. Many forms of work can involve competition, stress, and even causing harm to others or to the planet. Right livelihood is not a rigid rule that says you must quit your job if it is not perfect. It is an invitation to bring mindfulness and integrity to whatever work you do. It is about asking, how can I minimize harm? How can I be of service? How can I bring more kindness into my workplace? Take a moment now for a practice of gratitude. Think of all the unseen work and countless hands that have supported your ability to rest here tonight. The farmer who grew the grain for your food, the workers who built the home that shelters you, the people who generated the electricity that powers this device. Your life is held within a vast, interconnected web of labor. Silently offer your gratitude to this web of life that sustains you. The economist I.F. Shoemaker wrote about good work, which he described as work that allows us to use our skills, to overcome our ego-centeredness by joining with others in a common task, and to create the goods and services needed for a becoming existence. Hannah's work was good work. It used her skill, it served her community, and it allowed her to live in harmony with her own heart. For Hannah, there was no separation between the process and the product. She found as much value in the imperfect, gifted pots as she did in the perfect ones she sold. Her joy was in the feel of the clay, the hum of the wheel, the act of creation itself. This is a profound shift from a life based on profit and goals to a life based on process and presence. It is finding the sacred in the ordinary tasks of our day. This is your sanctuary. If you wish to return to this quiet harbor of peace, subscribing ensures you can always find your way back. It is a gentle way to keep this space accessible, a quiet corner of the world you can visit whenever you need to rest and reconnect with yourself. Whatever our work is, we can approach it as a practice. We can be a mindful bus driver, a compassionate doctor, an honest clerk. Right livelihood is not so much about what we do, but about the quality of heart we bring to the doing. It is about the energy we put into our day. The energy we bring to our livelihood and to our entire life is the very next step on our path. The joyful effort of sweeping, the energy of gentle persistence. A young, ambitious novice arrived at a Zen temple, determined to attain enlightenment as quickly as possible. He approached the master and declared, "I will do whatever it takes. I will meditate for 12 hours a day. I will study all the scriptures. I will fast for weeks. Just tell me the secret." The master smiled, handed the young man a broom, and pointed to the temple's large courtyard, which was covered in fallen leaves. "Your task," he said, "is to sweep." The novice was disappointed, but he set to work with a ferocious energy. He swept furiously, trying to get the job done so he could move on to the real practice. He was fighting the leaves, his mind racing with thoughts of his goal. At the end of the day, the courtyard was clean, but he was exhausted and angry. The master came to him and said, "You have worked hard, but you have not practiced. Tomorrow, just sweep." This is the practice of right effort, the sixth step of the path. It is perhaps the most misunderstood step. It is not about straining, striving, or forcing ourselves. It is not the no pain, no gain effort of the ambitious novice. It is a gentle, steady, and joyful energy. It is the wise application of our will in four ways: to prevent unwholesome states from arising, to release unwholesome states that have arisen, to cultivate wholesome states that have not yet arisen, and to maintain wholesome states that are already present. The next day, the novice tried a different approach. He held the broom lightly. He paid attention to the crisp sound of the bamboo bristles on the stone. He noticed the beautiful colors of the autumn leaves. He swept with a steady, rhythmic motion, his breath synchronized with his movements. His mind was not on the goal of a clean courtyard. His mind was simply with the act of sweeping. At the end of the day, the courtyard was clean, and his heart was calm and full. Let's practice with the breath. Bring a gentle, easeful effort to your next breath. Do not force it or try to make it deeper. Just bring a quiet intention to be fully present for the entire duration of the in-breath, and fully present for the entire duration of the out-breath. The effort is simply the gentle returning of your attention again and again with kindness. That is all. There is a famous Zen saying, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water." The practice does not lead to a life free of ordinary tasks. It transforms our relationship to them. Right effort is finding the sacred in the sweeping, the wood chopping, the dishwashing. It is the joyful energy that comes from being fully present with our life as it is. The unwholesome states we release are the familiar patterns of craving, aversion, and ignorance. The wholesome states we cultivate are kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Right effort is like being a skilled gardener of the mind. We gently pull the weeds of anger and greed, not with violence, but with a steady, persistent hand. And we lovingly water the seeds of peace and clarity, giving them the light and space they need to grow. This effort is not grim or serious. It is a light and joyful practice. The novice discovered that there was more peace to be found in sweeping one leaf with full attention than in 100 daydreams of enlightenment. The joy is in the process, not the result. The effort is joyful because it is an act of love toward our own heart and mind. So we let go of the need to struggle. We let go of the idea that spiritual practice has to be hard or painful. We pick up our broom, whatever that may be in our life, and we learn to sweep with a joyful heart. We apply a steady, kind, and continuous energy to our practice, moment by moment. This gentle, persistent effort is not blind. It is not just doing the same thing over and over. It is guided by a clear and precise awareness. It is this quality of mindful attention that allows us to know which plants are weeds and which are flowers. This steady and joyful effort is sustained by a clear and unwavering mindfulness. Now, let us turn to this watcher at the gate of our own mind. The watcher at the gate. the art of paying attention. Imagine a great ancient city with a single massive gate. The city's ruler, wanting to know who came and went, did not hire aggressive soldiers to interrogate everyone. Instead, he appointed a very old, very wise gatekeeper. The gatekeeper's only job was to sit quietly by the entrance and notice. He did not stop anyone. He did not judge them. He simply watched. A merchant with a cart of silks, a farmer with a basket of vegetables, a crying child, a laughing couple. He just noticed. A merchant enters. A child leaves. His awareness was clear, simple, and without preference. He did not prefer the rich merchant over the poor farmer. He did not try to console the crying child or celebrate with the laughing couple. By simply watching, without interfering, he came to understand the rhythms of the city better than anyone. He knew when the markets would be busy. He knew when the travelers would arrive. He knew the changing of the seasons. His simple, non-judgmental watching was his wisdom. This gatekeeper is right mindfulness, or sati, the seventh step of the path. It is the art of paying attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment. It is the watcher at the gate of your own mind. The gate is your senses. Thoughts, feelings, sounds, and sensations are constantly entering and leaving the city of your mind. The practice of mindfulness is to learn to sit like the old gatekeeper and simply notice them. Most of the time, we are not the gatekeeper. We are the chaotic city guard, running after every visitor, interrogating some, arresting others, throwing a party for a select few. A thought of worry enters, and we run after it, wrestling with it. A feeling of pleasure arrives, and we desperately try to cling to it, afraid it will leave. We are constantly entangled with the traffic of our own mind, creating noise and chaos. Mindfulness is the revolutionary act of stepping back and just watching. Let's practice being the watcher. As you rest here, just notice the next thought that arises in your mind. You don't need to believe it or analyze it. Just see it as a visitor. You can even give it a gentle label, like planning, worrying, or remembering. Then, just let it go on its way. You are the gatekeeper, not the thought. The thought is just a cloud passing through the vast sky of your awareness. The teacher, Jain Kabat-Zinn, famously said, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." This is the essence of mindfulness. We cannot stop the waves of thoughts and feelings from arising. They are a natural function of the mind and body, but we can learn to ride them with balance and grace, rather than being knocked over by them. Mindfulness is learning to surf the waves of our own experience. The gatekeeper's wisdom came from his non-interference. By not getting involved, he saw the whole pattern. In the same way, when we watch our minds with non-judgmental awareness, we begin to see our own patterns with incredible clarity. We see how a certain thought leads to a certain feeling. We see how a craving arises and then passes away if we don't feed it. We become intimate with the workings of our own heart and mind. This is a practice of profound kindness. When we judge our thoughts or feelings, we are creating a second arrow. When we feel anxious and then think, "I shouldn't be anxious," we are adding a layer of suffering. Mindfulness invites us to be with our anxiety without judgment. To say, "Ah, the visitor of anxiety is here." This simple, kind acknowledgement is deeply healing. It stops the inner war. The more we practice being the watcher at the gate, the quieter the city becomes. The visitors, seeing they are not being chased or clung to, simply come and go more peacefully. The mind, which once seemed so chaotic, reveals its own natural stillness. This steady, clear awareness becomes a foundation. When our mindfulness is stable and continuous, the mind becomes unified and calm. When the watcher at the gate becomes completely steady, when the attention no longer flickers or wavers, a deep sense of peace and unity arises. The mind becomes like a calm, focused beam of light. This is the culmination of our practice, the final step on the path. Now, let us sit like an unshakable mountain. The unshakable mountain, the peace of a unified mind. In a high mountain valley, a young meditator was struggling. Her mind was constantly distracted by thoughts, sounds, and restless energy. She complained to her teacher, an old nun who had lived in the valley for decades. The teacher didn't offer a new technique. She simply pointed to the great, snow-capped peak that dominated the skyline. "Your practice," she said, "is to sit like that mountain." The young meditator was puzzled, but she took the instruction to heart. Each day, she would sit and bring the image and feeling of the mountain into her being. She imagined its deep roots, grounded in the earth. She felt its immense weight, its solid and unwavering stability. She noticed how the mountain just sat in silent, majestic presence through all the changing seasons and all the changing weather. Clouds would gather around its peak, but the mountain was not the clouds. Storms would rage with fierce winds and crackling lightning, but the mountain was not the storm. The hot sun of summer would beat down on its slopes, and the deep snows of winter would cover it in a blanket of white. But through it all, the mountain remained unshaken, unchanged in its essential being. Its core was a deep, profound stillness. This is the quality of right concentration, or samadhi, the eighth and final step of the path. It is the ability of the mind to become unified, collected, and stable, like the mountain. It is the fruit of the entire path coming to maturity. When our view is clear, our intention is kind, our actions are wholesome, our effort is joyful, and our mindfulness is continuous, the mind naturally settles into a state of deep, unwavering calm. Let's practice with this mountain-like stability. Bring your attention back to the anchor of your breath. Feel the gentle, rhythmic sensation of the breath in your belly or at your nostrils. Let this be your mountain peak. Thoughts, sounds, and feelings will come and go like clouds and weather. You do not need to fight them. Just remain seated as the mountain, your attention resting steadily on the breath. When the mind wanders, gently, like a loving parent, guide it back to this anchor. The Master, Ajahn TCH, taught that the centered mind is unshakable. He said that most people's minds are like a leaf in the wind, blown here and there by every passing praise or criticism, every pleasure or pain. The practice of concentration is to develop a mind that is like a great stone, unmoved by the wind. This is not a state of rigidity, but a state of deep, flexible stability. As the young meditator continued her practice, her own mind began to take on the qualities of the mountain. The storms of her anger and fear would still arise, but she no longer identified with them. She could feel them passing over her, while a deeper part of her remained still and untouched. The fleeting thoughts and emotions were just weather. She was the mountain. This is not an escape from life. It is the ability to be fully in life, with all its challenges, without being thrown off balance. The mountain does not resist the storm. It allows the storm to be what it is, while remaining what it is. Right concentration gives us this profound resilience. It is a deep inner refuge that we can access at any time, a place of stillness in the midst of the storm. The path we have walked together, from understanding suffering to cultivating this deep stability, leads us here, to this discovery that within you there has always been this mountain. There has always been this capacity for profound stillness and peace. It was just obscured by the clouds of our conditioning. This unshakable peace is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a new way of living. It is the foundation from which true wisdom and compassion can flow into the world. We have walked the path together in these stories and reflections. Now we can rest. We can rest in the knowing that this path is always, always right here beneath our feet. The river meets the ocean. No mud, no lotus. There was a small spring high in the mountains, a trickle of fresh water emerging from the dark earth. This was the beginning of a river. At first, it was a playful, narrow stream, tumbling over smooth pebbles and around mossy rocks. It flowed through bright meadows filled with wildflowers, its water clear and sparkling in the sun. This was the joy, the simple, uncomplicated happiness of life. As it descended, the river grew wider and stronger. It carved its way through deep canyons of stone, its journey becoming more difficult. It flowed through muddy swamps, its clear water becoming murky and slow, thick with silt and decaying leaves. This was the suffering, the confusion, the dark and difficult passages of our lives. The river did not fight the mud. It carried it. It flowed with it. The river gave life to everything it touched. The great trees on its banks drew nourishment from its water, mud and all. The animals came to drink from it. The villagers downstream depended on it for their crops. The river's journey, with all its clear and muddy parts, was a single, life-giving process. It could not have nourished the valleys without also carrying the silt from the mountains. Finally, after its long and varied journey, the river arrived at the edge of the great, endless ocean. There was no grand finale, no dramatic explosion. The river simply flowed into the vast expanse of blue, merging with it, becoming one with it. It did not lose itself. It became something larger. The small, separate stream found its home in the boundless water of the ocean. This is the integration of the path. We start by thinking that the goal is to get rid of the mud, the suffering, the dukkha. We want our river to be always clear and sparkling. But the path teaches us that the mud is essential. The lotus flower, a symbol of enlightenment, does not grow on a pristine marble slab. It grows out of the thickest, richest mud. The mud is the raw material for our awakening. The great Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh, taught this with a simple, profound phrase: no mud, no lotus. There is no path to peace that avoids the reality of suffering. The wisdom, compassion, and stability we cultivate are not grown in a vacuum. They are grown in the very soil of our difficulties, our frustrations, and our sorrows. The suffering is not an obstacle on the path. The suffering is the path. Let's rest in a feeling of wholeness. Feel your entire body breathing as one interconnected system. The pleasant sensations and the unpleasant ones. The areas of tension and the areas of ease. The thoughts, the feelings, the silence. It all belongs. It is all part of the river of your life, flowing towards the great ocean of peace. You are the whole river, not just the clear parts. Our journey tonight has been a journey down this river. We have looked at the first arrow of unavoidable pain and the second arrow of our own making. We have explored the path of letting go, the raft that carries us across. We have seen that the path is not about becoming someone else, but about becoming more fully ourselves, mud and all. We see now that understanding suffering and understanding the path to its end are not two different things. They are a single, flowing process of awakening. We learn to be with our pain without creating a story of suffering around it. We use the difficulties of our lives as the very material for our practice. We learn to grow our lotus right in the heart of our own personal mud. And now, the river of our story is reaching its end. It is time to let go of the journey, to let go of the teachings, to let go of the words. It is time to merge with the vast, quiet ocean of sleep. Let this entire journey dissolve into deep, restorative, and peaceful rest. Gently now, bring your awareness back to the simple, physical reality of your body resting here. Feel the weight of your limbs, heavy and relaxed. Notice the gentle touch of the air on your skin. Feel the quiet, steady rhythm of your own breathing. You have arrived. There is nowhere else you need to be. You are here. You are breathing. This is enough. Whatever the day held, whatever tomorrow may bring, in this moment there is a deep and simple sufficiency. You do not need to fix anything. You do not need to understand anything more. You can simply be held and supported by this present moment. All is well. Give yourself permission now to drift. Let the current of sleep gently carry you away. Sleep is the ultimate letting go. It is the final surrender of the day. It is a profound act of trust in the natural rhythms of life. Allow yourself to release your grip on wakefulness and fall back into that deep, healing ocean of rest. You have done enough. It is time to rest. Thank you for walking this path with us tonight. You can return to this space whenever you need a moment of peace, a quiet harbor in the storm. This sanctuary is always here for you, waiting. If you wish to find your way back easily, a simple act of subscribing will keep this quiet place within your reach. Rest well. Appreciate the simple wonder of your own body knowing how to fall asleep. It is a miracle we are given every night. Allow it to happen. Let go of the day. Let go of the story. Let go of the effort. Good night, deep sleep, sweet dreams.